Hello and welcome. My name is Nick Bublitz, and I'm the producer in residence here at Orlando Shakes. And welcome to our second installment of Meet the Playwright, a weekly spotlight series on each playwright showcased in PlayFest 2020. This year's a whole new experience as PlayFest makes the switch to a virtual platform over the span of 6 weeks, with a reading occurring every week from October 3rd, ending at November 7th. This week we have Tammy Ryan, who is our second playwright, showcased in our virtual New Play Festival with her drama, Take My Hand and Wave Goodbye. But before we get to that, a big thank you to our presenting sponsors. For the second year, the Basil Keeney family joined City Beverages in presenting PlayFest 2020. What's so special about PlayFest is that these new plays are still in development, so during our rehearsal process, playwrights are able to hear their words aloud and actually continue adding to their work, making cuts, adding scenes, and continuing to grow and explore. And you, as an audience member, get to be a part of this process. After each reading, there will be a live Q&A with the playwright and the actors where the audience can ask questions and provide feedback about the play directly to the playwright as they continue on their creative journey. And throughout this, we'd love to feature your questions, so be sure to leave your questions for Tammy in the comments. Today, I have the pleasure of interviewing Tammy Ryan, who wrote the drama Take My Hand and Wave Goodbye. Told with humor and heart, Tammy's play explores love and the necessity of grief as a family grapples with the traumatic impact of gun violence. Hi, Tammy. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you, Nick?
I'm great. Where are you calling from today?
I'm in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Perfect. And you are from Pittsburgh, correct?
Actually, I'm from Queens, New York originally, but I've been in Pittsburgh since I came here to go to grad school many years ago.
Very cool.
So, yeah.
Well, are we ready to talk about Take My Hand and Wave Goodbye?
Sure.
Awesome. Well, first of all, let's move back a little bit. Tell us a little bit about yourself. How long have you been writing plays?
Probably I would say many decades. I wrote my first play as an undergraduate at the SUNY Buffalo. I wanted to be an actor, and I wasn't cast a lot because I had a very thick New York accent and a lisp, and I was a little rough around the edges. But then I wrote a play, and I got a lot of encouragement from my teachers, and they produced my plays, and I kind of made the switch to playwriting. So but I'd say seriously writing since grad school, based in Pittsburgh.
Great. Now, you're a PlayFest alum. You were here last year with our play, with the play The Wake, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
right, yeah.
First of all, welcome back.
Thank you.
2 years in a row. You're churning out plays left and right. We love to hear that. So what has the overall process been for Take My Hand and Wave Goodbye? Why now and why this play?
So do you mean process before I got here with PlayFest?
Yeah, well, no, Take My Hand, the play in general, what was the overall process of the creation?
Okay.
The first moments of inspiration for your play?
Yeah, so I began the play actually in a residence with Eric N. at La Mama's Umbria playwriting residency in Italy. Oh, wow. And so I wrote the beginning of the play there, and later did some workshops at New Dramatists where I'm a playwright in residence, and worked with Jesse actually. So Jesse and I have been working together. We also worked on an earlier reading of The Wake, so we've been working together a lot, and so
You're talking Jesse Hill, the director of
Right. Forget that everybody doesn't know everything.
Jesse is the wonderful director of Take My Hand at PlayFest.
Yeah, and we actually had a workshop of the play right before everything shut down in New York, the first week of March. Nice. So it's really great to get back in a room, even a virtual room, with Jesse with this play.
Right. So I guess my question then is, for Take My Hand and Wave Goodbye, what were those initial moments of inspiration that sparked this subject matter and this play?
Right. Well, personal loss. My family experienced the death of loved ones, and just sort of navigating the process of grief was one of them. But also, I think the larger problem of gun violence. Sandy Hook happened, and I didn't think I would ever recover from that. And then Parkland, and then even more recently here in Pittsburgh, the Tree of Life shooting,
Right.
just less than a mile from where I live. What was happening while I was in the middle of finishing the first draft. So yeah, so life inspired it, I guess, and the reality, what we're living in now.
Yeah. Life imitating art and art
Yeah.
imitating life.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so let's dive into the world of the play. I have some questions, and if anyone is watching would like to ask any questions as well, please write them in the chat so we can ask them to Tammy. Tammy, can you talk a little bit about the who, the what, and the where of "Take My Hand and Wave Goodbye"
Okay.
without any spoilers, of course?
Yeah, that's always hard. So it's the Who, I guess, is a family in Pittsburgh, a mother, a father, two teenage daughters. One is going into high school, and one is a senior in high school looking to go to college. And we meet this family at a typical moment in their lives, but a moment of stress because they're starting the college search, and the parents both work full time, and you have teenagers in the house, so there's what you think is stress is what they're living through. And then a tragedy happens that impacts them, and then the play is about basically navigating that. And I'm not going to say too much more unless you want me to.
I
But
mean,
there's a lot of humor. I want to put that up. It does deal with grief, but I waited until I could write this play and also The Wake, which is also about grief, with a lot of humor. This one might maybe a little heavier than The Wake, which I think was sort of structured as a comedy. But I see grief and humor kind of always, like, it's and everything. The dark and light always go together.
oh, absolutely.
Mm.
Um, So for everyone watching, Tammy and the rest of the cast and crew are currently in rehearsals this week
Mhm.
virtually. Tammy, how has the rehearsal process been going for you so
Yeah.
far? Any
Yeah.
discoveries in hearing the actors rehearse?
Yes, definitely. Yeah. That's why I would probably be more articulate about the play if I weren't in rehearsal. And I'm kind of in a residency at home. Like, I've blocked everything off. I canceled the class. I'm rewriting in the morning, and we have rehearsal in the evenings. The cast is wonderful. They feel like a family already. And Jessie is doing a beautiful job. She's a great director for a lot of reasons, but one is she's like a really deep listener, and she listens to the actors, and she listens to the playwright, and she listens to the play. And in doing that, really reflect, and the actors also, they really reflect it back to me what's there. So I really can see sort of what I need to do, especially in the second act, working towards that, just to sort of make the structure more muscular, to have a better engine for the play.
Right.
Yeah, if that makes sense. All the pieces are there, but now it's like just bringing it out.
Right. Well, this is a new play festival, so things
Mhm.
like that. That's what we're here for. Your script is still in development, and you've kind of talking about it a little bit. But do you have anything in particular? Any hopes of what you're going to get out of this rehearsal process and making these
Mhm.
adjustments to your work? Or is there
Mhm.
anything in particular that you're focusing on?
Mhm. Um, well, I really want to clarify whose story it is.
Mm,
Um, I started out thinking it was one person, and then I kind of brought all the family in and all the threads, and I kind of lost that person, and now I'm trying to, like, kind of focus that.
mm,
I really, in these kinds of residencies, really just put my head down and take a deep dive back into the play with the help of all the collaborators, including the producers and all of you, and just try to take it to the next step. You
yeah.
know.
What has the virtual aspect of this
Mm,
given to the play
mhm.
and your
Yeah.
process? Has it
Yeah.
changed anything, or is it
Mm,
similar to what it would be like in the room?
yeah. That's a good question. I mean, I have to reflect on that, I think,
Right.
some more, but because I've done a couple of these Zoom processes, and I think it's kind of the same. in some ways. I mean, the work that I'm going to do is the same. I'm listening to the play and I can hear it on Zoom. What you're missing, of course, is the live people together in a room and all the stuff that's unspoken that happens. um it feels a little like trudging through snow sometimes, like working on Zoom. It's like a little harder, but maybe that's okay to push a little harder. I mean, I think the result, maybe I don't know, maybe it will be a good pressure to put on something. Who knows? I'm trying to be, like hopeful.
Right, no,
um
it definitely is, I think. And I'm really
yeah.
excited to see what that looks like in
Mm,
the performance. We have a
yeah.
question from
Yeah.
our live audience. Tammy,
Mm,
you're so prolific. This is from Douglas
mhm,
Love. Do you write several plays at the same time? Do your different plays inform each other?
mm. I try not to write plays at the same time. I mean, I really, in my perfect world, I'm just a one at a time kind of person. But you get so far in one play, and then you kind of put that away, and then maybe you have a commission or you have something else you have to do. So I do kind of juggle things. But to Doug's other question, my plays do sort of follow waves, like they do inform each other. I'd say this play is like the end of maybe a trilogy of plays that deal with sisters. The Wake was one of them, and the play before that, Tar Beach, which actually, Nikki, who's in the reading, was in Tar Beach at Theater Lab in Boca Raton. You can see the little
In
poster
the
back there.
background.
See, there it is. Um, so yeah, that's great to have her kind of continuing that, because I see these three plays all kind of connected.
Right. So
So
is this the last of the trilogy?
yeah, I think so. I'm not going to write about grief next, at least.
Ooh, I'm
I
very
think I've
excited.
I've done it here. Yeah.
Well, Nina asks, "Hey
Mhm,
Tammy, during your process of writing
mhm,
this play, did you develop your characters first or your story,
mhm,
or is it some
mhm.
wonderful combination of both?" Great question,
Yeah.
Nina.
Yeah. Um, I always start with character. I mean, I have a sense of what the story might be, but I really kind of dig into the characters, spend a lot of time developing them. I fill up notebooks, I write character biographies for them. I really try to live in their bodies and live with them for a while, and hopefully the story starts to present itself. I always feel like plot's the hard part. I just in the beginning, especially when I was a young writer, I just wanted to write characters and dialogue. But you need to have a story,
So,
so
a follow-up question to this,
yeah.
then, based off of what you said earlier, that you're looking to clarify whose story this
Yeah.
is.
Hmm.
When you started writing this play,
Hmm.
was the first character you created who you thought
Hmm.
the story was about?
Yes.
Got it.
Yes. So yeah, you keep asking the same questions as you're writing a play, or at least I do. Like,
Yeah.
is it this person's story? Why is it? What do they want? And you keep, you think you're going one way, and then sometimes you come back, and then I always find myself coming back home to my original impulses, but now they're realized. That's sort of the
Right.
process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From Douglas again, how do you know when
Mm,
a play is done? Do you
mhm,
rewrite or add to your plays over the years?
mm, mm. Yeah. Um, w- well, I'm kind of done when I'm sort of emotionally done. Like I write about things to sort of get them out of me, or something that I have a question about, or something that I'm struggling with. And when I feel emotionally done, then I'm done. I may not be done with the play though, and then I have to finish crafting it. But I probably would say after like three productions, I feel I will leave that play beyond. I'm done.
You're done.
I'm not like Brecht, where I'm going to go back and, after the election, rewrite all my plays because we're in a new world.
Oh my.
He
Oh
he
my.
he rewrote all his plays after the bomb, after he dropped the atomic bomb. He said the world would never be the same again. So he went back and rewrote his whole body of work. I think about him a lot. I will never do that, but
Well, there's power in that too. So we have one last question from Orlando Shakes themselves.
yeah.
What two characters have the most interesting relationship in this play, and
Mhm.
why?
Mm. They have the most. It says the most interesting relationship to me.
Yeah, to you. Who has the
Yeah,
most?
right. So I say them. who I think the main character is Cassie, who's the young 15-year-old girl. She is very much inspired by probably my daughter, and my and having teenage girls. So,
Right.
and then the other character would be Steph, who you'll find out when you see the play who she is. She's Cassie's aunt,
Ooh.
because she really is captures, I think, sort of a wild, beautiful spirit of my sister who passed in 2015. Kind of a, yeah.
Well,
So
thank
it's
you
a
for
little bit of an homage to her
oh.
for me.
So without giving anything away, what do you hope
Mm.
audiences take away from this performance on Saturday?
Mm-hmm. Well, I hope that I don't know. It sounds sort of mm, you know cheesy, but I hope they find um, can connect to each other in the love that they feel for each other, and in like be present to each other. That's kind of a theme in the play about, it's a little our townish, like, see each other, be aware of each other, love each other. So
Right. Well, thank you so much for that. That was a wonderful answer to kind of close out this Meet the Playwright with. Thank you so much for joining us, Tammy.
thank you, Nick. It's great
Uh,
to be here.
well, it was wonderful having you, and we will send you off back to rehearsal where you
Okay.
can continue crafting. Don't forget to purchase your tickets to Take My Hand and Wave Goodbye this Saturday, October 10th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Tickets are starting at $10 and can be purchased at orlandoshakes.org. And you can join us next Wednesday right here on the Orlando Shakes Facebook page for the next installment of Meet the Playwright, when we speak to Rachel Lynette with her dark comedy, Apologies to Lorraine Hansberry, You Too, August Wilson. I'm Nick Bublitz. Thank you so much for joining us, and good night.